Today's BTG daily recap is for Thursday, February the 27th, 2025. Beyond the gates, y'all. Okay, let's get started with this. It's always all about Danny, right? Now, here's what's interesting to me. Danny was having lunch with her realtor friend, and I forget who else was there. And Haley walks in and walks over to her. See, she's always instigating. And she goes, Danny, can I have a word with you? And the realtor friend looked up at her, like they're all looking up at her, like, why would you want to come over to Danny again after she cold cocked you yesterday? She goes, it's important. So Danny gets up, sure. And Haley says, I'm coming to you again because I want the hostility to stop. I want to broker, I mean, same thing that got her hit yesterday. I kind of think she truly wants or wanted Danny to assault her again because there was no way she should have approached her. None. But Danny said, look, you're going to get exactly what you deserve. And no, I will not forgive you or broker any peace. She goes, as a matter of fact, I'm going to make it my job to make your life as miserable as I can make it while you living in this community. And Danny sits back down. And Haley's just like, hmm. So the realtor is like, what's the deal? I have never received a phone call from Grand Dame Anita Dupree, but she sure called yesterday, pretty much, asking us to attend that wedding. She goes, I'm shocked and told me you were going to be there. Or she was asking on your behalf. And Danny's like, she goes, I'm surprised you're going. She goes, I don't want to go. But my parents are insisting that I go. So, she just shaking her head. Now, Nicole's number one, house manager, I forget her name. I don't know it yet. All I know is the one that got hurt. Her name is Laura. She's worried that Laura hasn't turned up for work. No call, no show. That is absolutely not Laura. Okay. So Nicole gets worried because she goes, you're right. But then her husband calls and says, Laura's there in the hospital. She had been in a car accident. So Nicole tells her, her house manager and runs out of there to the hospital. And the house manager gets a call from the crazy chick, don't know her name yet either. And she is saying, has Laura been found? Pretending to be so caring. And she goes, yes, she's in the hospital. Some crazy person ran her off the road. Well, needless to say, we've already mentioned it. She was going to either get herself or her daughter into that house. Before she hang up, she pretend like she came up with this great idea because the house manager says, I got to call a temp agency. We've got way too much going on with planning this event. And no, I need an assistant. So she goes, oh, before you go. And she may have said her name, but I don't remember it. She says, what about Eve or Eva? She goes, what about her? She goes, she's excellent with the computer. She's this, she's that. And her friend said, oh my goodness, that would be a godsend if she would want to do that. You're right, right? So there we go. Now we're going to have Eva into the house. Okay, that's going to be some drama. Fine. I'm interested to see, is Eva going to be what's his name? Um Ted's daughter, or is Eva going to be Ted's brother's child? Right? We'll see. We'll see exactly what happens. So now Nicole, and by the way, Laura's okay, but she has some fractures. She's gonna have to have orthopedic surgery, and she's out of commission for 6 weeks, right? But now the photo shoot for Chelsea was today. And she was saying, telling her cousin, "Oh my God, I really don't want to do this. I don't want to be here." She goes, "Why?" She goes, "Because mom, when we left her last night, when Naomi and I left her, she was pretending to be fine. But Lord knows what could have happened after we left. I don't know what kind of mood she could have woke up in. Either way, she's going to take it out on me today. And she's going to make this photo shoot miserable." So, sure enough, Danny walks in there, looks at her daughter. "Your hair's not right." She goes, "It's fine, mom." And Andre, the photographer, was adjusting his camera. And she goes, "No, it's not fine." So she pushes it behind her shoulder. She goes, "Now it's fine." And Chelsea just looks up like, "Oh my God." So then she goes, "And you know what? Add some life into things." And she goes, "I know when to turn it up." And Andre says, "Oh no, 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 Danny. This is just some, getting mapping, right? No, we're not really doing the shoot yet." And so she goes, "And those shoes are not the right shoes for the outfit. Get the tall shoes." And she goes, "These shoes go great with this outfit." This is Chelsea telling her. "They go great with this outfit and they're comfortable." She goes, "You can be comfortable when the shoot is over and you're home. Right now, go change those shoes." And now Chelsea's pissed. She's frumping down over there, right? And Andre's seeing, like, uh-oh, this ain't gonna work. So he goes, "Danny, can I talk to you? You know, you're kind of stressing Chelsea out." She goes, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Look over there." And Danny looks at her and she's complaining to her cousin about this 4-inch heel shoes and blah, blah, blah. And he says, "I have an idea. And this will make the shoot fun. It'll make it go better." He goes, "Trust me on this." He says, "Can you sit this one out?" And she goes, "What do you mean sit this one out?" "Just, have a seat. You relax and have some fun watching." He goes, "Let me do the shoot. Let me take the lead in the shoot. I know what I'm doing." So then when they come back to them, he said, "Okay, that's it, Chelsea." And he's getting her into it and she's feeling good and she's taking some great shots and he's giving her directions and she's flipping around like and she had fun. And then Danny was like, "Huh, she's doing very well." She was actually impressed. And when the shoot was over, she goes, "Chelsea, you were great." I mean, and she could see her mother because she would glance at her mother, and her mother's sitting there like, "Okay." And at one point, she gave her a little direction, like, "Head up," And so it went very well. She hugged her mother. And she was gonna go, I guess, probably change with her cousin. And so Danny tells Andre, "You were right. The shoot, she did great." He says, "Yeah, a little something, something, right?" And so she says, "Andre, would you like to have a drink with me?" And soon as she said that, I said, "Okay, this is gonna be the cougar relationship." We got Bill with this young Haley. Now this guy is older, definitely older than Nicole and Ted's children. He's the older cousin, but come on, he's not Danny's age. She probably got 10 years on him, right? So anyway, I said, as soon as she said, "Would you like to have a drink?" And he said, "Sure." Because this one flirts. He's flirting with the new nurse, right? And so they go back to her house. And I was thinking, I didn't notice at the photo shoot that Danny's shirt is open all the way almost to her navel, right? She's got the pasty bra on and probably a little tape there to keep everything from coming out. And I said, oh my God, look at what she's wearing. Right? Didn't notice that. So anyway, they're talking and he's looking at her photo shoot, one of I guess her popular ones when she was a teenager is on the wall, and then there's one with her and her daughter. And he goes, I'm just admiring, you know, the work here. And she goes, yeah, she's talking about the photo of her and Haley. I mean, Chelsea. And so he goes, no, I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about you. Wow, you are a force to be reckoned with. He goes, no, he goes, you were a force to be reckoned with. He goes, and you still are. Your husband was crazy, crazy. You are the original catch. To go for that cheap invitation, Haley, oh, he's saying all the things she needed to hear, all the things. Because for one thing, and I absolutely don't like Bill's character, but it's written that way, right? But you could tell that Danny was a hard woman to live with. You could tell that, right? Because even her daughters, when they were yesterday on their episode, when they were talking, when the daughter was saying, this is her last shoot, she's getting ready to start her purse line, and she's not going to follow in her mother's footsteps, right? And they were saying, you know how mom could get. So, there's a story there. So, anyway, she goes, you are good for a girl's ego. He goes, no, I mean it. And so she goes, are you flirting with me? And he's looking at her like, what do you think? We drinking, you beautiful. And ooh. So they start dancing or something. They'd always start, come on, let's dance. And then next thing we know, they're kissing. And I said, okay, she gonna sleep with him. Sure enough, invites him to the bedroom, and they have a love scene, a sex scene, because they're not in love. A sex scene, lust scene. And Danny was having a good time. Now they didn't show a whole lot of skin, no, not on that. But it woke something up in her. Danny, it's been a minute, probably even before she separated from Bill. They probably had not been that physical at all, right? So she was having a good old time. We'll see if she invites him to be the plus one at the wedding tomorrow, because the wedding is actually tomorrow. So that's where we're going with that. And it's going to be interesting once the affair between Andre and Danny comes out, because it's not going to be no one-time thing. You already know it. Well, let's see how Nicole feels about it. Even though Andre's not related to them at all, because it's Nicole's husband's brother's son, right? But let's see how Nicole feels about, ooh, Danny, you a little messy. That's too close to home. That, come on now, he's family. So we'll see. That's going to be some conflict. That's going to definitely be some conflict there. And then Bill plans this big old surprise party, makes his whole office folks get involved. They just loving her. And one guy says, ooh, Bill, how did you catch her? She is a catch. And he goes, but then again, your first wife, Danny, was definitely a catch back in the day. And he goes, and still is, if you ask me. And so Bill just kind of looked at him and he goes, but you snagged another good one. Yeah, he knew he had to say that. So everybody had to make them feel like, oh, they were rooting for him. And then Haley says, I didn't think anybody would support Bill and I being together. Can I make a speech? Right? But you all have made us feel so warm and so welcome. Thank you all. And then let me tell you about this man. He has given me life. Oh, she went on and on. And Bill's just looking at her. And then they wrap up the party. And he gives her a bracelet. No, I love it. And so she goes, but when we leave this office tonight, you're not gonna see me till I'm walking down the aisle. And he goes, I'm surprised that you believe in, superstition. Because he goes, it's tradition and we don't want to jinx thing. And he goes, things. I'm surprised you believe in superstitions. She said, Bill, everybody is against us. And yes, we have hurt people. So I don't want to tempt fate. So therefore, you're not going to see me until I'm walking down the aisle. So they had a scene with the nurse. She and her husband were having, he's a fireman, the fireman, were having dinner with Naomi and her detective husband. And they were talking a bit about Laura being run off the road. And then as they're talking, the nurse was saying how challenging it is. And she, just hope she made the right choice because it's life or death and blah, blah, blah. And so then when Naomi started talking, camera pan back and she sleep on her husband's chest. She, it's a whole lot going on. So then it shows him carrying her to the bed. And as he lays her down, she wakes up. She goes, how'd I get here? He goes, you knocked out at the table. She goes, oh, that's so rude. Naomi was talking, and you mean to tell me I fell asleep? And he goes, yeah, but it's okay. We all know that you're tired, it's your first day, and blah, blah, blah. So she goes, well, I'm suddenly revitalized. So now her and her husband are hitting the sheets too. That's about it. That's it for today. We're still dealing with forming temporary relationships, because let's face it, Andre and Danny gonna be a definite temporary relationship. Um, but yeah, now we're getting into the crazy chick getting her daughter in there. That's gonna be interesting, right? So now let's go to Comment Corner. Comment Corner. I actually forgot Comment Corner last night, y'all. I'm sorry about that. Claire says, I think Danny needs a new boo. I'm surprised she stayed married to Bill, even though she knew about his numerous affairs. Even though she knew about his numerous affairs. I'm getting ready to cough again. Okay, I had to drink some water there. Knew about his numerous affairs. I couldn't do it. This is a really good show. I'm loving it. Thanks, Daily Recap Lady. All right, Claire, I agree. I'm liking it so far too. So let's see where they go with it. Lucy says, Leslie kissing, her name was Leslie, I guess, kissing her motorcycle helmet after she ran Laura off the road. That last scene was enough to get me tuning in next time. Will Laura survive? Well, yes, Laura did survive. See, now I know a name, Leslie. Let's see if I remember it. Crazy chick. Um, Lucy says serial cheaters. That could be why those said people's own children do not care about nor want marriage. Well, no, we got Naomi is married, and so is Martin is married. So they're getting married, right? No, 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 no. Danny is daddy's girl and is going along with Vernon. Oh, that's the patriarch, Senator Vernon Dupree? See, I didn't know his name. On trust. I hope what the Duprees have planned for Bill and Haley's wedding is worth it for Danny. Tune in next time and see. Yep. I'm looking forward to that wedding tomorrow. My guess is, look, watch, some wedding cake is going to get thrown somewhere. Definitely. Denzel says, them ex, I still can't believe it. Leslie was chasing after Laura when she was driving, and Laura hit a tree. I hope Laura doesn't die. She didn't die. If not, that means Nicole needs a new assistant. Yep. Yeah. Both Leslie and her daughter Eva are looking for blood. They're going they're gonna go against Nicole and the Dupree family one by one. Watch, something's going to happen. But my question is, uh, did both Ted and his wife Nicole tell and probably threaten Leslie something back? Something's happened. But Ted didn't even, but he was getting off the elevator and didn't even look up, right? But if he knew Leslie and they would know Eva when she's even suggested to work there. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Um, there perhaps Leslie and Ted had a secret child. Leslie is crazy enough. I can't believe she would keep a secret like that all this time, right? Or something. I definitely can't wait for that. Leslie is the new black version of Sheila Carter on The Bold and the Beautiful. I'm telling you, that RN, what's RN mean? I don't get that. Great day, great review, daily recaps, like always. And Latrice says, I agree. Leslie is cray cray. She is definitely giving Sheila Carter vibes. I'm with y'all. DL says, Anita Dupree is all of our moms, black and white. No swearing in my house. You know what's interesting? My oldest is 43. My middle son will be 42 in 2 weeks. I mean, no, 41 in 2 weeks. And I have a 34-year-old, and my youngest son will be 32. Guess what my rule is? Oh, they don't swear in front of me. And they adults. There is that. You don't swear in your. Nah, look, I could curse like a sailor, but they not in front of me. When they talking to each other and think I can't hear, they will. Or if my youngest son is telling me a story and he'll say, Excuse my French, mom, but what the HEL? It's just, it's something else. But no, that's definitely, I have instilled that in them. No cursing in front of me. I'm your mama, right? Denzel says Martin better tell his husband Smitty about his dreams because it isn't fair that Martin is keeping secrets from him. Smitty's husband, wait, Smitty gave up his career as a reporter, raising the adopted children together. And now that they're older, uh, let's see, now he tells that Smitty needs to go undercover and investigate what is Martin's secret he's hiding because I ain't liking Martin's attitude, and Smitty doesn't deserve that. I'm just saying. I can't believe the Dupree family going to Bill's wedding and told Danny that she had to go. When Danny said she wasn't going to the wedding, Danny's mother, Anita, gave her daughter the look too. Anita was going to go to her South Side Chicago hood on her daughter. But I'm glad that Danny's father, Vernon, uh, talked to her, talked her into going to the wedding. Let's face it, Danny's is Daddy's little girl. Plus, Danny was no dummy. When she found out Bill was the one who convinced to let the Dupree family go to the wedding. And both Anita and Vernon got a big secret to protect the grandson, Martin. I swear, Bill is just a manipulating person. I can't wait for this secret to come out, though. Great review, daily recap, lady. I got to go back to work. All right, thank you. Just K says, if I had to go to that petty wedding, I would wear black with a black veil. It would be so petty at the wedding. Or I would be so petty. Coughing, going to sleep, objecting the wedding. Leslie is one crazy one. She is like her daughter Eva. They will take up the position and get close to Nicole. She definitely hates Nicole. Yes, she definitely does. Black, purple, turquoise says, oh, like Bobby did at Michael's wedding to Nell on General Hospital. She wore all black completely with a veil at the ceremony, which was a mistake number one Michael made. in the women department. Heck yeah. Um, that was an epic moment in history back then. I remember that episode. I'm with you. All black interruptions the whole time. Factual facts. And J Door says, I want to see, I want to say I've been enjoying your detailed breakdowns of the show so far. Well, thank you. It's definitely my new favorite show, and I'm happy it airs every day. Well, thank you so much for saying that. I'm glad you enjoyed that, or enjoying the recaps. I like to just be me, and sometimes I'll make fun at it. I just will. I'm gonna make fun. Black Purple Turquoise says, it's always fun to listen to and watch Miss Daily Recap Lady give us entertaining, informative, and all around enjoyable recaps of both BTG and GH. Why, thank you, Black Purple Turquoise. Yeah. And then she also says Haley and Bill have both got some root canal nerve and the audacity and gall. That's all I have to say. He really thought he threatened Danny and get her to back off of the little homewrecker because he said, you can slap me or do whatever you want to me, but if you dare raise a hand to Haley again, and then she says, oh, this man needs to go for a nice long dirt nap and take Haley, his current young side piece, with him. Oh, that is so funny. Black, purple, turquoise. You can't stand either of them. Haley and Willow must know each other. Their naivety, gullibility, stupidity, and self-importance to a man who could actually give a crap less about them rolls off them like dew off of dewdrops in the morning. And Haley, I mean, Black, Purple, Turquoise, you give an excellent longer comment, but I'm going to skip on down. D.L. Hudson says, LOL, as a soap opera viewer for years, I can see Haley becoming one of the central players, similar to like how Erica Kane was. That would be interesting because she does have crazy nerves of still walking up to everybody, just demanding they like her and support her. Latrice says, my thoughts exactly. Bill is a real piece of work. He has no remorse for flaunting his new chick, who just so happens to be his daughter, Naomi's friend, in Danny's face. Not only did he cheat on her with Haley, but is going to marry her and move in the same community. They have both straight up just playing in Danny's face. I don't know another woman that will be okay with that. He just expects Danny to move on to deal with it. Bill is telling Danny not to touch Haley again. Miss Haley needs to stay out of Danny's face. That is so true. She is the one who keeps approaching Danny. She even went to her sister's house with some cookies for support. I would have thrown them cookies in the trash. Haley must like getting punched in the face because she keeps approaching Danny. Yes, she does. She is delusional if she thinks Danny or any member of the Dupree family is ever going to forgive her anytime soon. She needs to give it a rest. Yes, she does. All right, everybody. Thank you for commenting on Comment Corner. I will be back tomorrow with another daily recap of Beyond the Gates, otherwise known as BTG.